Oh, so this episode's gonna be about intermittent or intermittent fasting. Yeah. And it is fucking great if the intro is working. And with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self Development with Tactics fucking podcast. And I'm pretty fucking pumped to be here. I, as always, have to do some things. I just have to plug in my TV so that I'm a little bit brighter. I could do it beforehand, but I don't do it. Don't ask why. Really don't. I've actually, just before this episode, I thought, like, should I do it before? Should I just, make the effort and do it? And yeah, I came to the conclusion no, I'm not doing it. Why? I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, because yesterday we've actually finished the healthy eating article from the James Clear website as well, the same website we are on right now. We are going ahead with some health shit, some health tips, some health articles, I would say. And yeah, today's going to be about, as you've heard in the intro already, intermittent fasting, because some of it is very interesting to me, and I guess also to some other people. And I also assume that, as it is actually the case for me, a lot of people don't know what it actually is. I only know that it is somehow like, okay, you fast up to 8 hours a day or something. It is just fasting, it really is. And it seems to work, it seems to be good, it seems to be good for people that want to lose weight and whatsoever. So it seems to be quite a great thing. But I don't know a lot about it, and this is then the case, or this is the reason why, I'm willing to go through this one with you. So yeah, as I know myself, there's nothing working. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing working. But yeah, there it is. So the beginner's guide to intermittent. I always just have troubles with that word. So the beginner's guide to intermittent fasting, which is by James Clear, and also from the jamesclear.com website, which is an amazing website if you're looking for great articles. Only great articles on self-development, self-help, motivation, discipline, and all these just really great topics. At least at my point of view. But it is a really great website, and this is one of the websites that I'm really um, going to suggest. I think just until I die, basically, or just if there is some change in the website or some change in the articles, I might not. But if it's gonna stay like this, I guess it's always gonna be just a really, really great website, at least for me. So yeah, the beginner's guide. So I have been intermittent fasting for over 1 year. I skip breakfast each day and eat two meals. The first around 1 p.m. and the second around 8 p.m. Then I fast for 16 hours until I start eating again the next day at 1 p.m. Surprisingly, since I've started intermittent fasting, I've increased muscle mass up to 10 pounds from 205 to 215 pounds. Decreased body fats down 3% from 14% to 11%, which actually is significant change. It might seem to be only 3%. It might just seem to be pretty slow and or pretty small change. But in fact, if I know, or if I remember correctly, or if I just know it correctly, it is just decent change. It really is. Increased explosiveness sets a personal best with a clean and jerk off. Funny. So decreased body fat, blah blah blah. Increased explosiveness set a personal best with a clean and jerk off 253 pounds a few months back, and decreased the amount of time I've spent training down from 7.5 hours per week to 2.5 hours per week, which is quite nothing. Like it's more than 1 hour a day, which was the actual initial point, and now it is just 2 times a week, actually 3 times a week. Let's say 3 times a week. So in other words, I'm stronger, leaner, and more explosive, even though I go to the gym less and eat less, which is something very interesting for me because, for me, it has always been just some struggle with actually gaining weight because I'm naturally pretty skinny. This is what I am. And as I've started to just work out, it got better. I'm just hungry all the fucking time, which is good for me, not for everybody. For me, it is somehow good. But still, I'm pretty skinny. I build up some muscle mass, and I don't want to just kind of complain or something. I just built something. I really did, but it could be more, and I assume that it could be more by me just eating more, for example, or by me just trying to intermittent fast. Could also work for me. I don't know. I will talk about it in the last episode as well, and there I've been talking about it in a way that basically says that it should not work for me. Because the thing with intermittent fasting is that, well, because he's basically only consuming, if I'm just getting this correctly, he's consuming 2 meals a day. One at 1 p.m., and one at 8 p.m. Which is definitely not as much as 3 meals or even more what I'm actually eating. I'm having my 3 meals a day, breakfast, when it's noon, and then in the evening I'm eating once again. And in between those times, I'm actually eating also some fruits or some nuts or whatever day is. I'm basically eating all the fucking time, and I'm hungry all the fucking time. Which is fucked up sometimes, especially when I'm, at somebody other places, at somebody's place or somebody's other place. Well, never mind. And not everyone has so much fucking to eat as I'm having at home. And then it just really gets a little bit just insane and crazy and fucked up, because then I'm pretty much not able to just get filled or to feel filled, because I don't want to eat all the fucking food there is, which is a problem sometimes. But because there are only two meals, you actually have to consume all your fucking calories with those 2 meals, which could be just a really problematic thing for some people, and also I guess for me, because for sure some people just like to eat more often, but just less amount of calories or less amount of food actually as well. They do not want to have such a fucking mountain of food on their table, on their plates. They just want to eat often, but just small portions, and I think that's totally okay. But then this is something that wouldn't work with intermittent fasting, because it is only a few meals. 1 meal, 2 meal, 3 meals. But yeah, no, wrong one. But nevertheless, or anyways, actually, nevertheless is the wrong one. Anyways, I'm really interested in this, and maybe I'm even trying it out. And also just something that comes to my mind is that some people actually get a lot of pleasure from eating. And for those people, it would also not be something. Like, if eating is something that you just so enjoy that you just need to do it, it just seems a little bit strange, but there are people that actually just get a lot of pleasure from eating. And I think that's okay. That's totally fine. I guess this is also just some natural thing that happens, because eating, of course, we just eat. And there's nothing wrong about this. I do just have to turn on the light, because it's getting pretty fucking dark here. Now my fucking light is on. But yeah, so I guess for some people it definitely might not be something, and for some people it might totally be something. As quite always, quite obviously. But yeah, so in other words, well, I've read this. So you may be wondering, how is this possible? Isn't skipping breakfast bad for you? Why would anyone fast for 16 hours every day, and what are the benefits? Is there any science behind this, or are you just crazy? Is it dangerous? Slow down, friend. I've been known to do some crazy things, but this is totally legit. It's easy to implement into your lifestyle, and there are tons of healthy benefits. In this post, I'm going to break down intermittent fasting and everything that goes within it. Or that goes with it, actually. Always nice if you can read. Those who read actually have an advantage over those who can't read. A free bonus, because I'm just reading anything or everything there is. I created an intermittent fasting quick start guide with a summary of the benefits of intermittent fasting and 3 fasting schedules you can use depending on your goals. It's a quick 5-page PDF you can save and reference later as you try this yourself. So click here to get the guide for free. So there's a link. So if you're interested in it, The article is called "The Beginner's Guide to Intermittent Fasting." Just check it out. It might also be in the description. I don't know. Normally I do just not put things into the description. I don't actually know why, because it would be just quite amazing for you, because you do not have to look it up yourself, and you know for sure that this is the post that I went through. So maybe I should actually start doing it more often, or for sure. Um, but but yeah, and there's the link in there. You can get your free bonus or your free PDF. So what is intermittent fasting and why would you do it? By the way, before I'm actually starting to read there, I guess fasting has always been a thing, and I've also been talking about it in last day's episode. I totally believe that fasting is something that has always been a thing for human beings. Whether it was because we had to, because there was not enough food for us to eat, or because we implemented it in our days, in our lives, in our religion, and in other things, or in our belief system, basically. But I guess fasting is something that's pretty fucking old. I really believe in it without knowing. I don't know, but I assume and I believe and I guess. So intermittent fasting is not a diet, it's a pattern of eating. It is a way of scheduling your meals so that you get the most out of them. Intermittent fasting doesn't change what you eat, it changes when you eat. Why is it worthwhile to change when you're eating? Well, most notably, it is a great way to get lean without going on a crazy diet or cutting your calories down to nothing. In fact, most of the time you'll try to keep your calories the same when you start intermittent fasting. Most people eat bigger meals during a shorter time frame. Additionally, intermittent fasting is a good way to keep muscle mass on while getting lean. And this is something that quite doesn't make any sense because, you're eating less, you're training less, and whatsoever, you must just lose a lot of lean muscle, which is, I guess, actually the case for me. I do just lose a lot of muscle, I guess. If I actually would eat properly, I guess I would just build so much muscle. But I'm not doing it because it's not natural for me, and I do not quite want to force myself to eat, such a lot, especially with proteins. I'm just having a hard time because, I'm definitely not eating enough. I'm really definitely not eating enough. Not enough as I should actually. And, well, and only because of the fact that it is the main source for you just, yeah, being able to build something, whether it is just muscle, but also other things, as I know. Well, if you're not having it, then everything is quite fucked, to be honest. Let's actually put everything out there. I don't need you. Thank you. But yeah, very interesting so far, at least in my point of view. I also hope that you're going to, or you're just finding it helpful and interesting and whatsoever, so that not only I am the only one that is finding it interesting. So yeah. So with all that said, the main reason people try intermittent fasting is to lose weight. We will talk about how intermittent fasting leads to fat loss in a moment. Perhaps most importantly, intermittent fasting is one of the simplest strategies we have for taking bad weight off while keeping good weight on, because it requires very little behavior change. It is a very good thing because it means intermittent fasting falls into the category of simple enough that you'll actually do it, but meaningful enough that it will actually make a difference, which is incredibly good because often, like, for sure you can only drink water for a week. Basically, I guess it is possible, but it's gonna be fucking hard, and nobody is just willing to do it because it is fucking hard, and because it's really no fun. It is no fun. I haven't tried it, but I guess it is no fun because, like, yeah, not eating something for the whole entire week, it sounds fucked up. It sounds shitty, and so on. But just eating well at other times, so just changing the way or changing the time when you eat, it sounds pretty good. For sure. If you hear fasting, it's not gonna just sound as nice as, okay, change the time when you're eating, because of course you're gonna have long periods of time where you're not eating something, and it's gonna just, well, not it's not gonna be so well nice, I guess. even though, if you think about it as, okay, you have 2 meals a day and those meals are packed with fucking calories, then I guess it doesn't change anything, you know? But yeah. But fucking yeah. Where have I stopped? So how does intermittent fasting work? So to understand how intermittent fasting leads to a fat loss, we first need to understand the difference between the fat state and the fasted state. Your body is in the fat state when it is digested and absorbing food. When it is digesting and absorbing food. Typically typically the fat state starts when you begin eating and lasts for 3 to 5 hours as your body digests and absorbs the food you just ate. When you are in the fat state, it is very hard for your body to burn fat because your insulin levels are high. So, so far, this might mean, or this just means, okay, if you, well, the best thing to do is just working out when you haven't eaten something for more than 5 hours, I guess. Yeah, it must be. Would make sense, at least. I know. Well, sometimes I'm actually doing it this way that I'm, when I'm heading to work out or something, or do some sports, I do work out most of the time, do nothing else so far besides, playing some soccer um, from time to time and then just, going on some bike trip or something. But most often, I do just eat something before I just, do my workout, which might be something that I should not be doing. And I think today I'm not going to be doing it. Something that I've just, thought that it would actually kind of, not be good for me if I don't eat something before I work out. Because, I thought like, okay, especially when I'm eating some fruit, some quick sugars that are digested and get into my blood pretty quickly, I get more power and I get more, well, just strength and whatsoever. I thought this way, but it seems to be the case, as far as we've gone here, that it is not the case. So that I should actually not be doing it. But let's actually see along, or see ahead, or go ahead, or what the fuck ever. So after the time span, your body goes into what is known as the post-absorptive state, which is just a fancy way of saying that your body isn't processing anything. The post-absorptive state lasts until 8 to 12 hours after your last meal, which is when you enter the fasted state. It is much easier for your body to burn fat in the fasted state because your insulin levels are low. So it is much easier for your body to burn fat in the fasted state because your insulin levels are low. When you're in a fasted state, your body can burn fat that has been inaccessible during the fat state. Because we don't enter the fasted state until 12 hours after our last meal, it is rare that our bodies are in this fat burning state. It really is. Because, if you think about it, like, okay, most people eat in the morning something, then 12 hours, and, well, let's say you're eating at 7 and 12 hours, then would be 6 p.m. Yeah, it would be 6 p.m. Well, is it 6 p.m.? Yeah, it is 6 p.m. And up to 6 p.m. I guess everyone just eats something, and then we just fucked it up again. So this is one of the reasons why many people who start intermittent fasting will lose fat without changing what they eat, how much they eat, or how often they exercise. Fasting puts your body in a fat-burning state that you rarely make it to during a normal eating schedule. What I'm asking myself right now is, who the fuck came to this conclusion? Who the fuck actually tried it out? Who the fuck just, did the research? Who the fuck just made the study? Or whatsoever. I hope he's also going to talk about that because, well, that's pretty just, I think, important. To just also be sure, okay, James Clear knows what he's talking about and whatsoever. The benefits of intermittent fasting. Fat loss is great, but it isn't the only benefit of fasting. Point 1. Intermittent fasting makes your day simpler. I am big on behavior change, simplicity, and reducing stress. Intermittent fasting provides additional simplicity to my life that I really enjoy. When I wake up, I don't worry about breakfast, I just grab a glass of water and start my day. And I totally believe that if I would be fasting, if I would actually, if I would be fasting, I would definitely just drink way more than I'm drinking right now because I'm basically drinking nothing. I'm drinking absolutely nothing. 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 Like, I'm drinking anything, which is not good, which is really not good, and which is something that you should not be doing. I'm doing it because it's, me, I guess, but please don't do it. I guess it is not healthy. I guess it is not just the best thing you can do. It is just my natural state. It seems to be the case. My natural state is dehydrated. I want to have a shirt with this, actually. But it is not good. It really is not. But, if you're feeling hungry and if you have not been eating something and whatsoever, then, I think chances are way higher that you're going to grab a glass of water and gulp it down so that you don't feel as hungry as you've been. At least this is what I'm doing, when I've actually tried to fast a little bit. Actually, something that I've done yesterday as well to some degree. I've, I've eaten, I think, and the last thing I've eaten was some fruits at 7 p.m. or something. And even though I've eaten some fruits and whatsoever, after the last recording session that I had yesterday at 9 p.m., 8 p.m., something in between, I felt hungry. And then I said to myself, well, maybe you should not eat something. Maybe you should just try to not eat something and see what it's like to fast for a little bit. Which means, okay, I stood up today at 8 a.m. basically. I always just try to actually, get up a little bit earlier, But at the time, it is a little bit just, a little bit more like, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm simply not doing it. I think I could, if I really wanted it to do, and if it was just really something that also subconsciously is so important for me, I think it would definitely be able for me to do it. But, at the time, I'm not quite doing it, which is not that good because you need sleep, I need sleep, everyone needs sleep, but some people actually do not need as much sleep as some other people. There's, I think, some rare condition where people only need like 4 hours of sleep, but I guess that's only 1% of the whole population of the world. So therefore, chances are there that somebody of you is actually having this kind of, I don't want to say illness, but I think condition is actually a good word to describe that. But yeah, let's see and go ahead. So I enjoy eating and I don't mind cooking, so eating 3 meals a day was never a hassle for me. However, intermittent fasting allows me to eat one less meal, which also means planning one less meal, cooking one less meal, and stressing about one less meal. It makes life a bit simpler, and I like that. The second thing is intermittent fasting helps you live longer. Scientists have long known that restricting calories is a way of lengthening life. From a local standpoint, this makes sense. When you are starving, your body finds ways to extend your life. Yeah, makes sense. There is just one problem. Who wants to starve themselves in the name of living longer? It really is the case, Who the fuck is willing to do that? So I don't know about you, but I'm interested in enjoying a long life. And enjoying is actually emphasized. We're actually italic. But, it's also a way to emphasize it. Or point it out, actually. So starving myself doesn't sound that appetizing. I think it's appetizing. So the good news is that intermittent fasting activates many of the same mechanisms for extending life as calorie restriction. In other words, you get the benefits of a longer life without the hassle of starving. Way back in 1945, it was discovered that intermittent fasting extended life in mice. So here's the study. More recently, this study found that alternate day intermittent fasting led to longer lifespans. Which sounds pretty fucking great, I think, in my point of view. The third and I guess actually last point is intermittent fasting may reduce the risk of cancer. This is up for debate because there hasn't been a lot of research and experimentation done on the relationship between cancer and fasting. Early reports, however, look positive. This study of 10 cancer patients suggests that the side effects of chemotherapy may be diminished by fasting before treatment. This finding is also supported by another study which has used alternate day fasting with cancer patients and concluded that fasting before chemotherapy, would result in better cure rates and fewer deaths. Finally, this comprehensive analysis of many studies on fasting and disease has concluded that fasting appears to not only reduce the risk of cancer but also cardiovascular disease, which is amazing. The thing that I have to say there in terms of cancer is your carbohydrate intake is basically feeding the cancer. At least as far as I know, at least as far as I've actually understood that. Which means that if you actually fast carbohydrates and of course all the other just shitty things like I think when you're having cancer, I guess one of the best things you can do is just eating healthy actually, but okay, fasting carbohydrates is also a way because basically what you're then doing is starving the cancer or just letting the cancer starve because the carbohydrate is actually feeding the cancer, and if you just cut out all the carbohydrates, then there's nothing the cancer can just live from or can just exist from besides some things that I might not know that just also plays into the whole equation there. But it makes sense for me. It makes sense to actually not give the cancer the things he or she or it actually needs so that it fucking starts, so that it goes away. Because, obviously chemotherapy fucks your whole entire body. It not only destroys the cancer, it destroys fucking everything that is in your fucking body. I don't know. I still believe that there might be something that is just, working better. And I kind of feel like that, yeah, it is pretty much fucked up that there is nothing that really cures it just for sure. Because, some people just, don't respond to chemotherapy, as good as other people do. Some people just will feel just extremely bad because of it. And, in the end, nothing happened or nothing changed or nothing helped or it didn't help. So I don't know. I really hope that there's going to be just some research or there's going to be just more more scientists or more research on this particular thing because I really want cancer to not be a thing in 10 years. I really hope this is going to be the case because there's so many people that are dying off of cancer. It is just insane. And it is just really, fucked up. But I guess this is actually the end of the episode. The episode has been pretty good. The thing is, if I'm always just seeing and if I'm always just trying to see when an episode went good or didn't went good, I guess I always say, or I'm always going to say, okay, this episode was somehow mediocre. It was okay, but it was nothing that's, it was so incredibly great, whatever. But I think it was okay. I'm still going to distribute it no matter what. And this is very important, in my point of view, because, okay, for sure you can do something, but if you're not distributing it, it is also some kind of selfish, as Seth Godin also was talking about it. But I wish you the best health, wealth, happiness, and success, and I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you're going to be remembered. So basically, your legacy. To be sad is that you're not going to make everyone happy, and not everyone's going to like you. So don't just cripple yourself by this fact or by people not liking you because they just don't by default because of some stupid reasons, because of some facts, because of something. But I wish you the best. I see you and thank you very much for listening and or watching. I see you and I love you. And thanks again. Bye. I guess not something else. Bye.